Hello and welcome to Inside Iraq. I'm Jassim Azzawi. Iraq is due to hold a parliamentary election in January 2010. It will be the second time that Iraqis vote for a national parliament since the US-led invasion 6 years ago. Political parties are scrambling to create alliances, but so far, almost all the powerful political blocs are either ethnic or sectarian in nature. The Iraqi National Alliance is one such electoral alliance. Its new leader is the young al-Hakim, following the death of his father, Abdel Aziz al-Hakim. Can the son fill his father's shoes? What does a hereditary succession say about freedom and democracy in Iraqi politics? And will sectarian politics endanger Iraqi nationalism?
A new phase for Shia Muslim politics in Iraq after one of the country's most powerful politicians died at the end of August after a battle with lung cancer. Abdel Aziz al-Hakim was the leader of the Islamic Supreme Council of Iraq, one of Iraq's most powerful Shia political groups. He came from a religious family that prided itself on fighting Saddam Hussein's regime. Hakim and his brothers left Iraq soon after Saddam took power in 1979. In 1982, his elder brother Muhammad Baqir al-Hakim formed what was then called the Supreme Council for the Islamic Revolution in Iraq, or SCIRI. Aziz became the head of its military wing, the Badr Brigade, a militia-type force that was trained, funded and armed by Iran. Following the US occupation of Iraq, the Hakim brothers returned. Aziz became the head of SCIRI after the assassination of his elder brother in a car bomb attack in Najaf in August 2003. He led the main Shia bloc, called the United Iraqi Alliance, that swept to power in the elections of 2005 and became the main coalition grouping in parliament. Engaged in the political process, SCIRI took a name change to become the Islamic Supreme Council of Iraq, removing the World Revolution, as it was associated with overthrowing the old Ba'athist regime. With Abdel Aziz al-Hakim now dead, the leadership of the Islamic Supreme Council of Iraq has passed to his son Ammar. The new leader is still young in political terms, and he faces some tough challenges as Iraq's general elections looms. There are differences between two of Iraq's largest Shia parties, Hakim's group and the Dawa Party of Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki. Efforts to rebuild the Shia parliamentary bloc have collapsed. Al-Maliki's party has been excluded from the coalition. Some of Hakim's senior party members say the door is still open for anyone to join.
I wish that our brothers from the Dawa Party are with us. God willing, efforts will continue to get everyone in this alliance, including the Dawa Party.
The young Hakim's most immediate task will be to try to resolve the political divisions within the Shia community, to try to prevent electoral defeat for his party and his community in the upcoming January elections. Ammar Saleh for Inside Iraq.
And now we are joined from Dubai by Qasim Dawood, the leader of the Solidarity Bloc, and from Baghdad, Saleh al-Mutlaq, leader of the National Dialogue Front in Iraq, and from London by Iraq's elder statesman Adnan al-Pachachi, who is also a member of Iraq's parliament. Gentlemen, welcome to Inside Iraq. Qasim, let me start with you. Al-Maliki has refused to join the new bloc that has been created, and you are a member of that bloc, the Iraqi National Alliance, primarily because of the presence of Ibrahim al-Ja'fari and perhaps Muqtada al-Sadr. Can al-Maliki win without your bloc?
Well, this is a very difficult question. I mean, it's premature to answer the question like this, but I would like to comment that the alliance actually is still open to everybody. We announced it as a bloc which has to be the foundation for the national mandate or national enterprise. We cannot say that Maliki didn't join us so far. The negotiation is still going on.
Qasim Dawood, it seems to me that his answer is final. He wanted to be the sole candidate to run for the premiership, as well as he wanted a limitation on Ibrahim al-Ja'fari and Muqtada al-Sadr bloc. That has become amply clear.
Well, probably for you is clear, but for me, since I'm an insider, actually, I'm not looking at the situation as it is. The guy having a sort of political mandate, he would like to pursue with his mandate. The alliance have their own mandates, so I cannot say that the negotiation terminated. I think still we have room, although the room is probably a little bit slim, but I think that we cannot give such a sharp answer till we have to wait for probably 2 more weeks.
Slim indeed it is. Adnan al-Pachachi, as politicians with your finger on the pulse of Iraqi body politics, how much distrust is there among the political parties?
Well, we feel that the present government has not done its duty properly. We still have corruption. The security situation is still very fragile. Incompetence in many departments of state is very clear. And of course, sectarianism still plays a very important role. And the security forces have been heavily infiltrated, and they don't seem to be able to manage the affairs of security of the country. As you know, I personally and many others, from the very beginning, after the invasion of Iraq, we were against sectarianism as a basis for political activity. And that's why I joined the National Iraqi list, which has no sectarian color, which includes people from various sects and nationalities. And we feel that this is what the Iraqi people want, as it was very clear in the provincial elections some months ago.
Since you mentioned the Iraqi national list, which is headed by the former Iraqi Prime Minister Ayad Allawi, who, if I'm not mistaken, Saleh al-Mutlaq, you are right now in negotiation with him, as well as a few other parties, to create a balancing power against this Iraqi National Alliance. Can you tell us how far have you gone with this negotiation? Can we expect an announcement soon?
Well, with Dr. Allawi, we are very near to each other. We've been negotiating with each other for quite a long time, and we don't see that big differences actually between us. So the possibility of having an alliance between us, which gather us, is quite high, and it's going to be probably after the Eid. We're going to announce something. Anyway, we think, Dr. Jassim, there are about 70% of the Iraqis who did not participate in the election before. Those are the people who are against the political process, or they are not satisfied with this political process, and they are against the existing government and the existing parties who are running the government now. We look forward to join those people and to encourage them to participate in the election. The problem
under one leadership, Saleh
al-Mutlaq,
I understand that you are also negotiating with 3-4 other parties. What we have heard from the media right now, it is the question of the leadership. Who is going to head that list, and whether it's going to be a collective leadership or not?
Well, I don't think we should disagree on the leadership. I think the image that we are trying to put is that the competition is who is going to participate in saving the country, not in leading the country at this time. Leading the country or being a prime minister or a president without the possibility of doing something to Iraq, which is now in a very serious situation, is not going to do much. What I heard from Dr. Allawi, that he is not interested in having the power if he cannot do the change in Iraq. And this is also my belief too, that it is not a matter of having a post in this government. It is a matter of saving the country, which is going to fall apart unless there is a group of elite people who can lead the country to a safe place. Otherwise, if this country is going to be run again by the Islamists for another four years, by extremists, by sectarian people, then the country is going to face a very serious and difficult situation, which is going to be even more difficult for the people who are going to come after those people to correct the mistakes and the damage which is going to happen if the Islamists are going to run the country
Salih
for another 4
al-Mutlaq,
years.
it's going to be a vicious circle. Since we talked about the Islamists and the leadership, let me go back to Qasim Dawood. Right now, the new alliance that has been created, Akram al-Hakim is going to be the leader of that alliance. He's a young man. He is the son of Abdel Aziz al-Hakim. Surely he does not have the experience in order to carry the mantle of his father.
Well, first of all, let me just say some comments on Dr. Mutlaq's statement. Unfortunately, he gave a figure that 70% of the Iraqis didn't participate in the election. I'm really surprising from where he got this percent or this data.
This is the reality apart from Dr.
No, come on,
this is the reality apart from what was being published.
The IHAC really announced their statistics, and the United Nations raised their statistics, nothing like this at all. The participation was in the first election and around 79%, and in the provincial election 54%.
And yes,
so
you must agree, Qasim Dawood, there was a large segment, a big swath of the Iraqis, they were disenfranchised simply because of what they have seen up to the election of 2005.
This is a different issue.
They decided to boycott the election.
This is a different issue. No, this is a different issue. But what did he say really?
I'm talking about, Dr. Jassim, I am talking about the last election, the governorate
the provincial election.
I was on the ground in many areas. The participation was between 20 to 25% only. And what was published
this is not
was
true.
Not correct.
The participation, sure. 54, and this is an official figure, which was supported by the representative and the monitoring of the United Nations.
The percentage
anyway,
aside, Qasim Dawood, let's go back to this Islamist tinge of the National Iraqi Alliance. I'm the first to recognize that there are some secular parties, very small one, in this new Iraqi National Alliance, and yet the Islamic tent, so to speak, covers everybody inside it.
Well, again, Mr. Jassim, let me just correct something. Regarding to Abdel Aziz al-Hakim's son, he is Sayyid Ammar al-Hakim, not Akram al-Hakim, just to correct this information. Regarding to the alliance, actually, yes, indeed, it's include many names, many secular blocs beside the Islamists. And the aim of this alliance, as I mentioned in the beginning, that our vision that we would want to create or build or establish the foundation of the national bloc or national alliance headed or led by a clear political mandate. And this is our wish to get over from the sectarian or sectarianism, plus, as Dr. Pachachi said, that we are now looking for many things under the new philosophy of the alliance. One of these philosophy that we are not anymore going toward the competence. We are going toward the recognition of the right of the people.
That is exactly what Iraqis need anyway, Qasim Dawood, you know, in order for efficiency and competence to replace loyalties and religious affiliation. But let me go to Adnan Al-Pachachi. Doctor, is there a place for the Sons of Iraq, for the awakening councils? You must be the first one to recognize that what they have done vis-a-vis security is absolutely second to none. Without their participation, even the Americans, they would have been able to rout out Al-Qaeda.
Yes, their participation is very important. And we in the National Iraqi List have been in touch with them, and they expressed their willingness to cooperate with us. And talks are still going on. But let me refer to what my colleague, Mr. Qasim Dawood, said about the alliance. I mean, unfortunately, it is still unmistakably sectarian in character and in emphasis and in philosophy. This is the sort of thing that the Iraqi people have tried for the last 4 years at least. And I think the time has come for the Iraqi people to assert their will in rejecting sectarian politics and really start on the road of creating a secular democracy in Iraq.
Let me get a quick response from Qasim Dawood before I go to Salih al-Mutlaq. Make it very quick, please.
Well, my comment on this is that really we tried in 2005 when we engaged a couple of non-Shiite people in the UIA of 169, and really it didn't work for simple reason, because these people, the moment that they joined the bloc, they were isolated from their community. So I think the real new strategy is to deal with the credible bloc of the different spectrum of the society. So the first foundation is the creation of the Iraqi National Alliance. The second foundation, that this alliance will make a sort of coalition with the different credible blocs to establish the real national political mandate for the new
well
Iraq.
understood. Salih al-Mutlaq, you have been quoted as telling al-Maliki, there was a time when you were against me and now you are seeing the things exactly as I see it. And apparently he retorted and he answered you, said, you should be happy I changed. And then the second quote is that first al-Maliki stole the government from us and now he's stealing our political speech. Exactly what does that mean? Is he coming towards your thinking or what?
Well, that was absolutely correct. But the fact is that al-Maliki in his speech is quite different from the way he speaks before, and the program that he is putting on paper now is different from what he was putting before. But the problem is he going to do the same thing on the ground in a practical thing, or is just a matter of theoretical thing? I think al-Maliki managed to get out of a sectarian bloc, which is a point that has to be encouraged. It's a matter that has to be encouraged and supported by us and by all those who are nationalists, all those who are, you know, pro-liberal.
But is it for ulterior motives, Salih al-Mutlaq? Is this leaving of the sectarianism, is it 100%, or is it for political reasons?
Well, you know, we cannot prejudge the situation from now. Let us give the guy some time to see what he is going to do. Who is he going to join? It is a positive start that he left the sectarian coalition, which is already established. The second step is he has to prove that he is really no sectarian. He is going to join secular and non-sectarian people, non-sectarian parties. Let us see who he is going to join in the coming
until
period,
that happens,
and then we can judge.
Until that happens, Salih al-Mutlaq, Adnan al-Pachachi, is Iraqi nationalism still alive? Is it buried? Is it dead? I mean, right now, the people talking about Iraqi nationalism is very, very small. Am I correct? Am I wrong?
No, I think most people feel that their identity is Iraqi, and of course there's the Arab majority in Iraq who feel that they are part of the Arab nation, of the Arab world. No, I think the question of identity is not a problem, because Iraq is, they have been thinking as one people for thousands of years, ever since the dawn of history and the civilization in the valley of the two rivers.
Actually, I'm again surprised from Dr. al-Mutlaq, because he is just all of a sudden start to criticize the Iraqi National Alliance, and he accused it as a sectarian bloc. I mean, really, I would like just to hear from Saleh what sort of definition for the sectarian. Is his bloc non-sectarian? how he can design or define the sectarianism in these things. I cannot understand this.
Let us hear the answer.
No, my bloc is not sectarian because it's a mixed bloc. It contains all the constituents in Iraq. If we could not win in the election in a way to have a representative from all the areas, that was not our fault, not because we were sectarian, but because you were at that time pulling the whole society to a sectarian issue and a sectarian attitude, so we could not at that time manage to let the national and the secular bloc to be large enough. But now people are realizing that sectarianism is a killing for the Iraqis. And I can assure you that in the coming period, nobody,
we believe together on this.
Number is going to follow.
We believe together on this.
Sectarian people.
But
listen, we are going to form a front, which is a pro-Iraq front. Anybody who is a pro-Iraq is welcoming.
Well, Dr. Saleh, unfortunately, this is a sort of slogan, and really this is not the way to deal with the colleagues in such a way to accusing the others as a sectarian. Really, I objective this strongly, and I don't accept this at all.
Gentlemen, let me get Adnan al-Pachachi for a last comment. Dr. Adnan, the provincial elections did not change much of the circumstance of Iraqis. Talk to the Iraqis and tell them, why do you think this January election is going to change the misery and the poverty that they are in?
Well, it is really, ultimately, it's up to the Iraqis, to the Iraqi people, to the Iraqi voter. The only way of changing is through the ballot box. And therefore, it's up to the Iraqi voters to vote for the people that really can save Iraq from its predicament. I wanted to say, finally, that the expressions of non-sectarianism that we hear from both the Alliance and the Dawa, we wonder whether these protestations are genuine or not. And we have to wait and see, because there are some very grave doubts that what is being done is really in order to get political votes rather than a change of heart or philosophy and of attitude and of principles. Thank you.
The new leaning and the new colorings of the alliance, is it done for political reasons, in order to gain votes?
Well, that's what we wish, by the way. That's what we are really hoping. We want to see a sort of competition on the political issues rather than on the sectarian or ethnic issues. And this is the real healthy atmosphere to do so. So my acquisition that always when we want to blame somebody, we say that this bloc is a sectarian and I'm a nationalist. This is not the way to deal with the situation. This is
Thank you very much, Qasim Dawood. Let me close with Saleh al-Mutlaq, a final comment, 30 seconds. Go ahead, Saleh.
Well, if we at a time can forgive some people for being sectarian and pull the country to the difficult situation that it is in now, I think the Iraqis this time will not forgive those who are going to pull the country to another sectarian issue another time.
Saleh al-Mutlaq, Adnan al-Pachachi, Qasim Dawood. Gentlemen, thank you for being guests on Inside Iraq.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To watch the show online, please go to aljazeera.net/English. We have reached the end of this show. Join me next week when we take another look inside Iraq. Until then, have a great week.